A ver, da igual, el Archolo lo voy a jugar, ¿vale? Lo jugaré en 2023, porque ahora no me da tiempo ya a jugarlo. De aquí a final de año y no me da tiempo. O sea, voy a jugar el Gothic 3 primero, pero en el hueco de Gothic 2 meteré el Archolo. Ya sé que lo voy a jugar en español, pero no os preocupéis que lo jugaré. Antes del Gothic Remake lo voy a jugar, pero bueno. Vale, a ver, vamos a empezar a hacer misiones del Elex, porque llevo ya 4 directos, llevo 34 horas jugadas. Y digo, en algún momento debo terminar el juego, digo yo. Las últimas 30 horas de juego y todos los directos me lo he pasado hablando con gente y cogiendo misiones y no he hecho ninguna. Así que literalmente creo que en este capítulo vamos a hacer misiones, ¿vale? Lo primero que voy a hacer va a ser coger las misiones de aquí. Coger las misiones de aquí. Aquí básicamente, esta es la ciudad cúpula, ¿vale? Y la ciudad cúpula, pues como es un juego de Piranha Bytes y tiene que haber barreras, pues tiene una barrera mágica, ¿vale? Igual que el Gothic 1, todo tiene referencia al Gothic Remake. Y hay una barrera, ¿vale? No te dejan pasar. Y hay aquí unos proscritos justo en la entrada diciendo, oye, nosotros podemos pasarte. Pero hay un clérigo muy hijo de puta aquí en una de las entradas que quiere matarnos. Así que, ¿qué te parece si lo baiteamos y lo matamos? Así que tiene pinta de que la ciudad esta va a tener misiones en plan o ayuda a los proscritos o a los clérigos. No sé a quién voy a ayudar, pero esta es la primera misión que tengo. Hay un guardia aquí que dice, oye, los que están fuera me están dando mucho por culo. Mátalos. Y yo en plan, pero tú eres tonto, ¿o qué? Así que los proscritos me han dicho, oye, baitealo y lo matamos. O hacemos algo con él.
About the outlaws in the farm.
You mean the threat on our doorstep? The canker in our midst? They who should disappear?
There are too many outlaws at the farm. I need your help.
Very well, but I'll only pay half. I'm risking my life and my job coming to help you. Okay? Just wait a moment. I have to find a replacement.
¡Mierda!
You can't go unguarded after all. I'll be right back. Yes. Let's go and take care.
Mierda, lo van a matar.
Halt! You are not allowed in without an ID
Hijo
card.
puta.
See Gregor at the other gate if you want to request entry into the city.
Esto no le va a gustar a los clérigos, Me temo que esto a los clérigos... Es que tiene pinta de que me voy a unir a los berserkers, ¿vale? Pero bueno, por cierto, sigo sin quitar una mierda. ¿Puedo enseñar el nivel? Estoy en nivel 12, me subió un poco la inteligencia del ingenio, pero es que sigo siendo una mierda. Y el sistema de este de talentos no me gusta nada, porque lo estoy subiendo todo poco a poco. Y pasa que mi personaje, al subirlo todo poco a poco, llevo jugadas 30 horas y sigue siendo un mierda. Mi consejo, centraos en una rama, en una, y combinad la rama que más os guste, supervivencia, fabricación, personalidad, con una de estas, porque una de estas la vais a subir sí o sí cuando os unáis a una facción. Así que es combinar una de estas entera con una de estas, porque si no vuestro personaje va a ser una mierda, tío. Va a ser un híbrido de todo, como es el mío, y no os va a dar. Es que esa es la clave. Es que no os da. Ya se lo están cargando. No, matadlo. No le quitan nada. Ah, toma. Se ha cancelado Manos Amigas, que era la misión de este.
Gustav is dead.
Then you deserve the profit from that. Check his corpse for the reward he offered you. And here's a
Has escogido un bando en el conflicto de Avesa.
Back the right side. And to prove that, maybe I can help you get into the city, if that's what you want.
Sí, quiero entrar.
I want to get into the city. Can you get me in?
Have you tried to get in yet?
Yes, I went to the gate.
And you got turned away, right?
I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Okay. I can offer you a way to get into the city, but it's risky because you might not get out again. At least not if they confiscate your ID.
Why won't I be able to get out?
All right. I just hope things don't go the same way they did with Cooper. The clerics have shut the city up tight. They won't let anyone who doesn't have a valid ID through the gate. Not in, not out.
Who is Cooper?
He's an acquaintance of mine. He lost his ID and got stuck in there when they sealed
Vale,
the gate.
básicamente
Anyway, we're off the point.
hemos ayudado a estos y nos van a ayudar a entrar en la ciudad, ¿vale?
ID that will get you in.
Con una
But
identificación.
once you're inside there, I need you to go and take an ID card to Cooper. That way he can come back out again. Like I say, I can get you in, but I also need you to help me out. You good with that? Does that sound like a deal?
Deal. Give me the ID, and I'll meet Cooper.
Good, right. That's the plan. Long term. You see, Wick has all the blank IDs. So before I can get you an ID, I need you to get me Wick.
Where is Wick?
Well, that there is a good question. You see, he's been gone for a while. He'd gone over to the ruins to see if there was anything.
Espérate, porque a lo mejor no la puedo hacer, tampoco.
And hasn't come back. You should look for him over to the
De todas formas,
northwest if you're in a
puedo...
hurry to get into the city. Just look
puedo
for
ayudar
all
a
the
esto
houses.
y entrar
You
con
should
una
still be
identificación falsa.
scavenging.
O puedo decirle al guardia, oye, que están vendiendo identificaciones falsas, delatarlo y que me dejen entrar, ¿vale? Voy a venir aquí a ver si son calaveras. Si son calaveras me tendré que ir a farmear experiencia de algún otro lado. Y si no son calaveras, pues lo intento con Ray. ¿Ataca Ray o qué? Bueno, ¿Ray ataca o qué? Vale, ahora. La madre que te parió, Ray. Vale, ya he encarado uno, menos mal. Son muchas ratas, Ray. Tío, cárgate, ve cargándotelas. La madre que lo va a parir, macho. ¡Ataca, coño! Ah, míralo. La madre que lo va a parir. Esto es horrible, macho. Para el Elex, multitarge es la mierda. Mira. Mierda, le iba a dar el golpe potente. ¡Que me matan! ¡Que me matan, tío! ¡Mata a las ratas! ¡Joder! Que yo no puedo, que soy una puta mierda. ¡Coño! ¡Puto juego de mierda! Todo por jugar la dificultad más alta. Vale, venga, encara a otra. A ver. Me mata la rata, o sea, posible. Mira, me ha cortado la poti, tío, y todo, macho. Venga, a ver. Venga, ataca. Sin prisa, ¿eh? Ese golpe cargado que tiene él quita muchísimo. Pero es muy lento atacando. Venga. ¡Hala! Por fin, ya era hora, gracias. Gracias, Ray. Venga. Se ha cargado solo a 5 ratas. Nivel calavera es una referencia al WoW. No, porque en el Witcher 3... Bueno, a ver. En el Witcher 3 también hay calaveras, ¿no? Enemigos calaveras. Por cierto, hay un talento que no vale para nada, que lo voy a explicar. No es que esté bugueado, que es este. Cazador con experiencia. Este hace lo mismo que practicante, que este recibe más experiencia de misiones y este recibe más experiencia por enemigos que matas. ¿Cuál es el problema? Que la mayoría de los enemigos que matas no los matas tú, los mata tu compañero. Y ese talento no vale si los mata el compañero, tiene que ser muerte por ti. O sea, tus kills te dan más experiencia, pero no las kills del compañero. Así que... digamos que ese talento sirve para nada. Al menos si no matas tú a los enemigos. Y tampoco es mucho, ¿eh? Las gafas estas están como bufos. Y tengo ya todas las gafas. Una es para ver a los seres vivos, que este ya lo enseñé en el anterior directo. Otra es la que llevo yo para que me dé sexto sentido, que es para ver en el radar a los enemigos. Y otra es esta, que es para ver los objetos. Los objetos que puedes sacar, mira, ¿lo veis? Lo veis en azul, los objetos. Me salen iluminados, estos con las gafas estas puestas. Está bastante guay, para farmear en ciudades y tal, está muy bien. Porque ves a las casas a las que tienes que entrar a coger objetos y tal. Te señala los objetos básicos, básicamente. No te señala las plantas, por ejemplo. Pero bueno, yo de momento voy a llevar el sexto sentido hasta que me ponga el talento yo y entonces me pondría estas de los objetos. No creo que me ponga casco porque el casco en este juego es una mierda. Te da 4 de armadura y ya está. Vaya. Wick, mierda, muerto. Recibió conjunto de identificaciones.
Wick is dead, but I found the ID cards on his body.
Dead? Shit. I told him whatever was there wasn't worth the risk. But Wick would do anything if it would mean him getting 2 shards he could tap together. Ah, well, give me the blank ID card. I'll work it up for you now. So, done. 1 fake ID ready to go.
Me dan un montón de experiencia las misiones. Es una barbaridad. Me recuerda mucho al Witcher 3, donde los enemigos te dan poca experiencia. Aquí te dan un nivel medio de experiencia los enemigos. Pero donde farmea a saco, o donde carrilea la experiencia es en las misiones, pero una bestialidad.
Give me the counterfeit ID.
O sea, haces una misión de mierda por ahí, de hablar con un pavo y te dan 1000 de experiencia. O cosas así.
So, done. Here's your ID. And this is the ID for Cooper. Take it to him. But make sure the clerics don't see it, see him, or see you handing this over. And do it as soon as you get in there. He's been at risk too long as it is. We don't need him being held, or worse, turned into a vegetable by the suggesters.
Papeles falsos.
Spitball.
Vale. Para adentro. Vale, y aquí dentro va a estar la pava que quiero llevar de compañera ya hasta el final del juego, que es Katja, que es la canónica que lleva el pavo este de compañera. Porque es la que sale en el tráiler de Elex 2 y es uno de los personajes principales de Elex 2. Hola, he matado a tu compañero.
Halt. Not a step further. No one is allowed into the city without an entry permit.
I have an entry ID. Let me through.
Really? I thought I knew all the ones that had been issued. And you were here asking about getting ID before. So tell me where you got this one.
Gregor desconfía.
It's mine. I was issued one after all. Must have misplaced it.
All right. I'll believe you this once. I've got to be wary. That desert gang of outlaws is always trying to find ways to get by me. Oh, and there are some rules I need to tell you before you enter. First, stay away from the generators. Nobody but the technicians is allowed access to them. That sort of security is why we need to keep an eye on IDs. So if you meet someone who's in the city illegally, report them to us immediately. And Eric will take care of them. We can only keep peace in the city if we all work together, and we keep the city secure. That's what was laid down by the Great Council of Magalan. And the Great Council gave the clerics the responsibility for guaranteeing the city's independence. That means everyone is welcome here until they cause trouble.
Sí, los clérigos quieren tener esto como una ciudad para todos, pero los proscritos en plan... Pero echarán a los proscritos porque dan por culo, ¿no? Mira, de repente 510 de experiencia, es que es una locura, tío.
What's happening in the city?
Nothing right now, but it's simmering. You can feel it. There was something building even before we let those Alp separatists in here. They just lit the touch paper. But hey, we're supposed to be a sanctuary, so someone decided to open the gates and let the separatists in.
How many separatists are there in the city?
Too many. Once an Alb, always an Alb. They still hit Elex. It's just a matter of time before they turn back. I don't know what they want in the city. I'd heard a bunch of them had set up a base in the west of Abessa, so they could have gone there. If we weren't so busy here, we'd attract them.
Ahora tengo que ir a hablar con estos, con lo que me está diciendo.
We need a Zakor thinking we're harboring rebels.
What's a suggester?
Our suggesters are the reason things remain peaceful in the city. If someone causes trouble, then they're either thrown out, see a suggester for reorientation, or both. But don't worry, it's a positive experience that will leave you happy about life. Even so, I recommend avoiding it.
Where can I find Eric?
Just go straight down the path into the inner city. You should find him there.
You mentioned the Council of Magellan.
The Great Council, yes.
Esto es secundario porque a la ciudad esta no tienes que venir, ¿no? Para nada.
I'm not that well informed on my history.
Es la historia principal.
Who's Alois?
Alois is the judicator in charge of the city. You'll find him in the castle. He likes to stay close to the generators.
Porque al final la historia principal tiene que ver con los salvos. Tienes que hablar con los separatistas. Todo esto solo valen para la unión a una facción.
I heard you hold people prisoner if they can't prove their identities.
Of course. Need a valid ID to enter or to leave. It's important we keep the right balance here, and that we can hold people accountable. We've worked hard to keep things running here. We can't start letting people flood in, or the troublemakers will take over. Anyone who tries to get around with ID is given straight to the suggesters to be taken care of. Keep your pockets closed and your eyes open, unless you want to end up shardless and dead at the hands of those damn outlaws.
¿Cómo? Mis manos quietas, espérate. Que te lo explico.
Do you think I didn't notice what you were doing?
232 de Elex y la acabo de quitar. Entra en la ciudad cúpula de Abessa. Y a ti te puedo quitar algo también.
Do you think I didn't notice what you were doing?
A ver, ¿y cómo se...? Tengo que ir a hablar con el pavo este. Pues me ha dicho, en cuanto entre, vete directo. A ver, ¿qué es? Abessa, papeles falsos. Es esto, ¿no? Vale, el proscrito llamado Cooper. Voy a hacer esta la primera. Vale, Erich. Hablar con Erich es para vender a Cooper. Pero no, voy a hablar con Cooper. Pues si el chaval está aquí metido, el este no puede salir. ¡Jódete! A ver, levanta.
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
You get right to the point, don't you?
And are you gonna give me an answer?
No. A ver, es que no lo sé. Es que los clérigos... Es que tiene pinta que los proscritos quieren tener la ciudad pata arriba.
I'm for the clerics.
You think they bring security? That they protect us?
Sí.
They say they're here to keep things safe, to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city. That's just the start of it. You think that's because the Alps are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
¿Supervivencia? ¡Mierda! Creo que tengo un 4. Joder.
The Albs are more of a threat than the clerics.
Executions, converters, torture. Believe me, I know all about that shit. But those guys are only interested in Elex, and as far as I know, there isn't any more here in the city than there is elsewhere. So why should they show any interest in attacking a fortified position to get it, instead of sweeping up all there is out there?
The Albs want all the Elex. All of it, no matter where it is.
We won't get in their way. We don't want Elex. They have to see that. They'd be attacking us for nothing. No, it's the clerics.
Why don't you do something to stop the clerics?
What's that got to do with you? You expect me to trust you just like that?
Hunter sent me.
Why didn't he come himself?
He was afraid he wouldn't be let out of the city again if he was caught.
You mean he was afraid the same thing would happen to him that happened to me? Fuck it. At least the suggesters haven't found me yet. Did Hunter give you something for me?
Yes, I have something for you.
Thanks. I was starting to think that I would never leave this stinking cleric.
Has escogido un bando en el conflicto de Avesa. Vale, esto tiene que ser algo
Here's
importante.
something for me in any case. You've helped a good cause. Trust me.
Vale. Se pira, ¿no? Hunter, ya te he traído
So
eso.
you came through for Cooper?
Sí.
Yes.
Then it seems we can rely on you. And a good job is rewarded. That's how we do things in Tavar.
Now he's out. How are you going to get into the city?
Well, I was hoping Cooper was gonna sort that from the inside. But no dice. So, we're gonna have to wait for something to change in there. Something's cooking for sure. So we've just got to hope it comes to the boils soon. It's not like we can go back to Tavar. The Duke's never been keen on Baxter's old boys. So we're going to risk staying here a bit longer and hope the Albs don't march through here.
Vale. Vivian, tú no eres.
Leave your hands where I can see them. What is it you want?
Who are you?
You first. Come on. Who are you? There is something that is familiar about you, but I can't quite place it. No matter, I suppose. All people are welcome in Abessa, as long as they are prepared to forget their past. Even Albs are allowed in here. I think Albs would be perfect people if they weren't so emotionless. But then, that is why they are the only faction I have never belonged to.
What do you mean? You mean you want to become an Alb?
That's a long story. If you're really interested in my tale, then I will tell you, of course.
Sure, let's hear it. I'd like to hear it. You want to tell me over drinks sometime, or tell us here?
Tell me your story. How did you end
Here
up
we
joining
go.
the clerics?
Right, I'll give you the full version. Well, the short version of the full version.
Just get on with it.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. So, I grew up in Goliath in Edan. My father and mother were both born berserkers, and so that meant I was too. Back then, Bajar ruled over Goliath. As a child, I had no interest in the laws, of course. But when I was about 12 years old, one of the warlords came to our home. He took my parents, and I was left on my own to survive in the city. I remember him. I remember my parents leaving.
Sí,
And
tus
I
padres,
remember
¿por
me
qué?
screaming.
Los berserkers no parecen hacer eso, ¿eh?
It's just a blur.
Dios, hay aquí vehículos y de todo.
What happened to your parents?
Well, what else?
Ah, que los
They were
exiliaron.
exiled. Nobody ever told me why they were exiled. I still don't know what they did, even today. I hate the Berserker laws. Nothing against the Berserkers. They're just people. It's the laws I hate. I think what the Berserkers want to do with Magalan is right. But I can never forgive them for what they did to my parents.
Que los
Why
berserkers
exactly
ganan al
for whatever
final.
my parents
Ganan.
did? Why wasn't I told what had happened?
O sea, entiendo que
I swore never to
el
return.
canon del juego es
But I
unirte a los
haven't set foot in
berserkers,
Uganda
porque los
again.
berserkers acaban ganando. En Elex 2 la naturaleza se extiende por donde están los berserkers.
Where did you go?
Wherever I needed to survive. That meant running from reavers and wild animals. It didn't take long for some reavers to take me captive. And then...
O sea, por el sur,
I don't want to talk about that.
en Elex 2 la naturaleza se extiende por el sur, por los corazones del mundo, entiendo que van plantando los berserkers,
And they
y
took
por
me back to
arriba
Tavar. I
se
learned
extiende
how
la
to
nieve
fight,
por el
how to
Elex.
live off scrap. Life wasn't much different from me.
Hay
then.
coches en el
But there
Elex.
wasn't the same raptor shit. The laws. You could
Hay
be who
naves
you
y
were,
mechas.
and no one judged you.
Then why didn't you remain with the outlaws?
Because the Reavers who'd taken me captive came to the fort and wanted to speak to the Duke. I think they wanted to take me back. I fled when they saw me. I didn't want to be taken back, or for them to kill me to hide their crime. When I left the fort, I ran into a cleric patrol. They convinced me to go to the Hort with them. Not that I really needed that much convincing. All those hours taking scrap apart and putting it back together in Tavar really paid off there. The clerics recognized that I was good with
Vaya, esta te la ponen aquí para que te cuente un poco de las tres facciones, porque ha pasado te he hablado de las tres en esta conversación.
Part of a team. And it's easier being with mechs. They don't judge anyone. They treat everyone the same. Like this place. I know it's not perfect, but outlaws, berserkers, clerics, even elves are seen as people. At least that's the vision. Not always the way it happens. That's another reason to maintain these mechs. To protect what we have here. Well, I hope you find your place in the world.
Ah, vale, que me da experiencia. Solo por escucharla.
What are you doing here in Abessa?
I take care of the mechs and drones here in the city, which means I coordinate and plan their maintenance and upgrades. When I'm lucky, I get to roll up my sleeves and do some of the actual maintenance, which I'm having to do quite a lot with all the technicians we're missing. Say, are you good with technology?
Mierda, no tengo fabricación 6, pero sí tengo 2.
I know the basics.
Unfortunately, that wouldn't be enough, I'm afraid. We don't really have time to train people on the job. Not if they're not going to stay here for good, and you don't look the type for that. On the other hand, if you're looking for some part-time work, I could still use your help. I have 4 people I've been told I should look at for taking the technician's job, but I don't have time to gauge their abilities. Would that be something you could do for me? I'd pay you.
Yeah, I'll talk to your candidates.
Great. The 4 names I have are Daryl, Naira, Rorik, and Riley. Though I'm really not sure about Riley. There's something about him I don't trust. But speak to each of them and let me know whether you think they might have the right skills and abilities for the job. Oh, and I'll need you to let me know about their loyalties. You know, can they work with clerics? Do they hate us? We'd be trusting them with the mechs and AI that defend the Dome City. So I don't want to employ anyone who might still be thinking about their faction, not our security.
Vacante.
About the candidates for technician.
Dios, la cantidad de misiones que hay aquí. Buf, no es que sean muchas, porque luego te pone a mirar las guías de Elex y te pone a mirar el listado de misiones y no son tantas como tiene, yo que sé, el Skyrim o The Witcher 3. Pero no suelen ser cortas, ¿eh? Son misiones que duran un poco más de lo normal. Porque tienen que ver con hablar no con una sola persona, coger un solo objeto, sino hablar con 3 personas y que esas 3 personas a la vez te den otras misiones. Y es como una subcadena de misiones y todas las misiones están relacionadas. Una cosa extraña.
Naira is an elf separatist, so a bit of a long shot for loyalty. But she should have the technical ability we need.
Mi problema con las misiones no es la estructura de misiones, sino cómo están puestas en la interfaz. Me parece horrible. No sé cómo está en el Elex 2 puesto. Pero tengo muchas ganas de probar el Elex 2 solo por ver qué han hecho. Porque la interfaz de las misiones en este juego es una mierda que flipa.
Tell me about Daryl.
Daryl is an outlaw. He's applied to be a technician, but I don't know why. So I want
La mejor interfaz de misiones que he visto yo es la del Witcher 3, por ejemplo. Cada misión con el nivel de la misión y ordenada. Ya está. Bueno, no, en el Witcher 3 no están ordenadas, porque llega un punto en que se desordenan un montón. Pues es eso, como lo de Witcher 3, con el nivel recomendado, tal, una pequeña descripción, los objetivos, tal, y luego que te dé la opción de ordenarlo de alguna manera. Ya sea por nivel, que es como están ordenadas en el WoW, por ejemplo, que están ordenadas por nivel, o por zona o algo así. O incluso tú mismo, que las puedas ordenar tú mismo en una interfaz.
And it would show that we were reaching out to the berserkers who have come to the Dome City. Their magic is very powerful, and they're strong warriors. We will need their help if the Albs attack us from Zakor. But it'll be important to find out if he's prepared to have anything to do with technology, before we think of offering him the job.
Vale. La interfaz de las misiones, para mirar cómo están organizadas las misiones, es una basura, tío. Es una basura, no ves los niveles, no están ordenados por cómo las coges, están ordenadas como por zonas, y dentro de las zonas están ordenadas por submisiones. Es como un lío. Es como un lío de pestañitas aquí abiertas. Es basura, literalmente. Es basura porque no es claro. Y cuando un registro no es claro, es una mierda.
Hey, you.
Let me guess. I'm not allowed into the upper quarter?
What? No, everyone's
Ah, coño, este es el clérigo que maneja las cosas, ¿no?
I just want to know what things are like outside the dome. What's going on out there? Are the Albs attacking?
Why do you ask?
I'm interested. We're cut off here under the dome, safe from the world outside. So they pass us
esto es un poco la mina de... Bueno, el Valle de las Minas del Gothic 1, ¿no? Que entra y la gente no sabe qué coño está pasando fuera, ¿no? Cómo va la guerra con los orcos y todo eso. Solo que no te lo preguntan demasiado. Como que entras, eres el último en entrar en la barrera y no... Que yo recuerde, no hay muchos... No hay muchos personajes que te preguntan qué está pasando fuera, ¿no?
He will find us wherever we are. So, when the Great Council chose us to serve here as guardians, the clerics did their duty. Now, we stay to show that a cleric's oath is strong, and so that we can demonstrate Kalan's grace to those who are yet to find it. So, here we stay, to help the lost free themselves from Chems, from Elex, from the Albs. Everyone is welcome in the domed city. Everyone is safe here. My name is Eric, by the way. Chief engineer here in the dome. I'm in charge of all the generators and technicians who oversee them.
Why don't the clerics have a dome like this in Igniton?
The dome requires immense amounts of energy, and the fluctuations in it have to be constantly balanced. The technology is complex. That means there's no way to cover the Hort with a shield like this. Besides, the cliffs around Hort give it a natural protection.
Can this dome survive an Alb attack?
Of course. Why do you think we built it? As long as we can maintain a constant energy flow, then they can't get in. Unfortunately, achieving that isn't so easy. Some of the energy regulators are starting to malfunction again.
Fabricación 4?
I can repair the energy regulators for you. Thanks for the offer, but that's not necessary. I've already repaired the components. They just haven't all been installed yet.
About the broken energy regulators. What will happen if they aren't repaired?
If just one regulator fails, it could mean an emergency shutdown for the dome. Otherwise, the discharge it would create could kill a whole lot of the people the shield is supposed to be protecting. But whether it's a discharge or an emergency shutdown, both scenarios would see us defenseless.
How many energy regulators are broken?
Well, all of them. I've sorted replacements where I can. But Lutz hasn't received his yet.
I will help you with the energy regulators.
I wanted to do it myself, but do you really think you could handle it? So, let's find out who you are. You should go to Igniton one day. You could be a good cleric. Yeah, I know, I left Igniton behind, but they could offer you better training than I could. I have the energy regulator here. Please, take it to Lutz and help him to install it. Come back to me when you're done.
Medidas de seguridad, vale. Esto sería para ayudar a los clérigos o a los proscritos, supongo. Ah, por cierto, que el mejor arma de una mano ya la tengo. Es esta. No tengo fuerza para llevarla. Pero es esta. El hachuela de chatarra mejorada al nivel 3 es el arma que más quita del juego. En cuanto a daño base, ¿vale? De una mano, la que más quita. Las armas únicas, lo que tienen es que tienen huecos y aparte tienen daño elemental, pero no son las que más quitan del juego. Que esto lo tenía también el Risen... No sé si era el Risen 2 o el Risen 3. Que las armas base, las armas normales mejoradas quitaban más que las armas únicas, pero las armas únicas tenían daño elemental. Pues aquí es lo mismo. Aloy, vale, este es el jefe supremo de aquí, ¿no? A ver.
Yes. Is there something urgent? I have a lot to do, as you can imagine. This city does not run itself. So, please excuse me if I am short with you. This city is made up of a whole mass of confusion. Everyone looking for a new start. No one able to forget their past. They need a leader to hold things together.
You're in charge here?
Well, let's say that I'm the person holding all these threads together. There's no ruler here, we all work together. Everyone here wants something. Whatever you're searching for, it will only add to the list of demands we already face. And providing for the people we already have is a logistical challenge. That means to accommodate everyone we're on strict rations, and those rations have to be earned.
You should sell it all. Then everything would distribute itself.
How long have you been in charge of the domed city?
I've been in office for
¿Por qué está lloviendo aquí si hay tejado?
and it hasn't been easy.
No, en la conversación se está viendo lluvia, pero había tejado arriba.
By Kalan, there really are more pleasant posts they could have appointed me to.
What if someone wanted to replace you?
Some have tried, yet I am still here. This city was created by the great Council of Magalan. They made the clerics custodians of this place and their legacy. The great council may be long gone, but what they stood for, a unity of purpose.
¿Qué pasa con los clérigos en el Elex 2? Se van a la mierda, ¿verdad? Porque los berserkers se extienden por el desierto. Los salvos, bueno, los salvos no. La nieve. O son los salvos, que se extienden por el... Serán los separatistas, ¿no? Los que quedan. Se extienden por el norte. Y creo que los proscritos se quedan en el cráter, ¿no? ¿Los clérigos dónde van? A la mierda.
Those tensions drive greed, anger, and fear. There is war out there, and here your shards will be stolen from your hand if you aren't careful. It's like the world has gone crazy.
Why have things become so bad?
A whole host of reasons. Maybe it would help you if I tell you how things are. The berserkers have lived more and more reclusively ever since the pilgrim went into his retreat. The outlaws are more organized now the Duke has taken power.
El peregrino está en o sea, el líder de los berserkers, que es el supremo líder, que es el peregrino, está en el sur del mapa, por cierto. Puedes ir a verlo si está, o sea, si vas explorando por ahí por el mapa, lo ves meditando y te dice que te vayas a tomar por culo. O sea, hablas con él y te manda a la mierda. Te dice, estoy muy ocupado, estoy haciendo algo muy importante y te manda al carajo. No te ataca, pero te manda a la mierda.
Listen, the council is gone. Why care about what they said?
You don't think that was a better time? Laws for prisoner exchange that assured borders, set rules for trade. Even if you don't care about the blood spilled since the council's rule was broken, the clerics swore to a code, and that includes keeping our oaths. And an oath was sworn to the council by my forefathers. That makes it my duty to see that oath is kept.
Is there something I can help you with?
If you want to help, there is something that has to be taken care of quickly. You must have noticed that the mood is very heated here. One more issue, one wobble, and everything we've held together here will fall to pieces. One of my people has reported that the outlaws are expecting a weapons delivery. The last thing that this city needs is more weapons. And who knows who the outlaws will sell them to. I want you to intercept this delivery and bring it to me.
Are you having a lot of trouble here in the city?
Keeping the factions together is always an issue. The outlaws are always up to something, but things have gotten worse.
Los clérigos quieren un poco mantener también unidas las facciones, pero a la vez quieren ser ellos los que pongan las leyes y las normas, ¿no? Y es como... Por eso el resto de facciones son como reticentes, ¿no? Es como si vamos a unirnos, pero nuestras normas.
I want to find out who their connections are. If you can find out more about their secret society, I can make you rich.
About the outlaws' weapons delivery. You've been using informers to try and catch them?
Of course. Information is key to keeping the peace. But there are always things you miss. And missing things leads to nasty surprises. I'd rather be the one dealing those out than receiving them. Particularly when it comes to outlaws. Are you gonna show me that you are the exception?
I'll take care of that problem for you.
Good. Very well then. Your target is a woman. Her name is Paige. Get her talking and hope
Como la
that she
luchadora de
brings you
wrestling.
plan.
Paige.
Take these shards. You may need them to buy yourself some trust. You'll have to find Paige yourself. She's a slippery customer, and we've lost track of her.
Contact? Is there something I should know about her?
Apart from the fact that she's one of the outlaws, no. As soon as you get those weapons or any information, just make sure you
¿Dónde
bring
está la
them to me.
compañera, tío? Todavía no la he visto. Grabaciones de Nira. ¿Qué es esto? Vivir entre el pueblo líder de la ciudad cúpula me ha hecho darme cuenta de lo mucho que los odio. Por cada cosa que hacen exigen un pago. Me ha costado sudores conseguir unas cuantas herramientas primitivas. Todo resultaría más sencillo de no ser por los sentimientos que estoy sufriendo. Frustración, ira, ambos poco productivos e ineficaces. Esta ciudad está corrupta. Hará falta fuerza para sobrevivir en este lugar y promover nuestra causa. Ah, es esto.
What do you want from me? To drive me off? Or maybe even have me killed? You don't scare me. Your people are a plague upon this land. Although, there is something different about you. Do you usually spend time with people like us?
No aguanto lo de tu especie. Yo mismo fui un albo.
I was an alb myself once.
Yes. You stopped taking Elex. That is rare, which makes me question how you did it.
Me envía bien por el trabajo de técnico.
Vivian sent me about the technician job.
I am without question the best candidate they will find. Therefore, selecting me is the logical choice. But I need proof that the clerics are really willing to work with me. If I am to work for the clerics, then I would like to be paid. The free people seem to value shards above all things, and so payment would be proof that they take me seriously.
What are your qualifications for this job?
I served as the battlefield technician for my unit in Zakor. I have already discovered errors in the AI systems of the clerics' mechs, and I would be able to modify them. Even the dome isn't running as efficiently as it could. That is another thing I could improve.
Do you think you can work with the clerics?
I think it would be better if this city was led by an alb or a machine. But I understand that it isn't up to me to determine this. So yes, I could imagine working with them in the existing circumstances, despite their inefficiencies.
No pienso pagarte nada. Instrúyeme, coño, que soy instructor. ¿De qué? Fabricación. Sí, obviamente. A ver, si le digo no voy a pagarte nada.
I'm not paying you.
Good. Then you have made your decision and mine. I will not work for the clerics.
Pero vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Le tengo que decir a aquella que le van a pagar o qué? Es que no entiendo, me dice, págame. ¿Cómo que te pague? ¿Que te pague de qué? Si no vas a trabajar para mí, vas a trabajar para ellos. A mí que me cuentes, que te pague otro. ¡Hombre!
This area is a sanctuary for refugees. There's nothing here for reavers, recruiters, or troublemakers.
Menos mal. Te habla directamente, ¿eh? Y no te da opción a salirte del este.
What's wrong with you? Have I done something to piss you off?
Call it experience, but those in need and those willing to help don't normally question my motives.
A Kaya no le gusta eso. What? Ah, es una berserker. Pensaba que era una proscrita.
Are you
always so edgy?
You know you wouldn't need to defuse things if you didn't get people wound up in the first place. Damn, this is like being back in Goliad all over again.
You're a berserker. Is Adan trying to conquer Abessa?
I don't answer to Adan. And these people belong to no faction. They belong only to themselves. I stand as their protector against anyone who would force them to do otherwise. My only connection to Adan is my magic. I wish it was
Es una
more.
maga. Quiero ver
Just
cómo
don't make
combate
things
esa amiga. Claro, será una exiliada.
Have you been exiled from Goliad?
Exiled? No. There are those in Adan who want to use my magic for their own purposes. Ever since my power started to grow.
Es una
they
super
changed
maga.
me. Their mana changed me, and that change just won't stop. I'm becoming stronger and stronger.
Lo veremos si eres tan poderoso.
If that's true, why don't you use your power?
I do, I have. But sometimes it overwhelms me. That's why I fight alone. If I lose control of a
Así me
spell,
gusta.
there's a chance
Mate
I
a
could
todo lo
kill
que se
anyone
mueva.
and everyone around me. The warlords wanted to test me. Try my powers, to harness them. Now I need to find a solution myself. But to do that, I need to study the properties of Elex, to learn more about it.
Sigue haciendo la dieta de las 1500 calorías. Sí. Y entreno también de vez en cuando. Aunque últimamente no tengo mucho tiempo,
What brought you out here?
This is a place away from the war.
Pero sí, la dieta de las 1500 calorías me vino bien. Como... Realmente no es dieta de 1500 calorías, es controlar lo que comes. Digamos que llega un punto en tu, a la hora de comer o lo que comes y tal, que le das la vuelta al alimento y miras las calorías que tiene. Esa es la clave.
Here you can forget about factions.
I could use someone like you.
Use? There's a word I've heard too much. Well, count me out. I'm not interested in being used.
I could help you.
What do you know of what I need? What do you know of how to help me? Elex marks people. Mana, chems, exposure from food tainted by it. It stays with people. You have its mark on you. You're different somehow. What is it about you?
Nueva misión, la elegida.
I took Elex in the past. Is that what you're seeing? Or is there something else?
Took it? You were fed it. You were an Alb soldier. Well, it seems we have something in common. We've both been fed Elex in one form or another. It's changed us. And neither of us know what that means we are now.
What do you think? My offer still stands.
And what exactly is it that you're planning?
I am going to end this war by taking the fight to the Elexitors. And I'm trying to put together a group skilled enough to win that fight.
And you think I'll take part in this?
In return, I will help your quest to find the Elex you're searching for. Then you can improve your magical abilities. You said yourself, the longer you are here, the more you fear your powers.
Bueno, Rai, te vas a tomar por culo. Estás ahí detrás, Rai. Rai se va a la mierda. En cuanto esta se meta al grupo.
Even if that's true.
Salvo que esta sea una mierda en combate, la voy a llevar ya el resto del juego.
I know the impulses that follow you even during sleep. I know the nightmares and the problems of trying to control power that really wants to control you. And I know what it's like when all that is taken from you. We can help each other.
And it's not like I have other options. Not in the long term. You're right. I'm hiding from it here. I need to get out there and find a real solution. I'll wait by the main gate, and we'll see if your actions can match your words. You should stock up here before we go.
I will meet you by the gate.
Just don't keep me waiting, or you might find I changed my mind.
Misión frente a las puertas de la ciudad. Y la voy a marcar, por supuesto, porque la voy a hacer. La elegida. Lo siento, Rai, tío. O sea, pegan muchísimo, tío, pero... Meten muchísimo daño, pero es que prefiero el canon de la historia. Por eso hay tanto maná por aquí suelto. Estaba ella por aquí. Te apunta a jugar conmigo al DVD. No, no voy a jugar más al DVD en pues probablemente un año. Ya jugué al DVD. Ya la temporada del DVD está más que cerrada. De entrada no puedo estar jugando al mismo juego todo el tiempo, todo el rato. A no ser que ese juego se llame GOTY Remake. La única manera, la única esperanza de que este canal crezca es el GOTY Remake de Arrel.
Ah, the gift and treasures of travel, for it brings new encounters. So what are you? Merchant, bounty hunter, or a nobody like most people out there?
Nobody. No estoy en ninguna facción.
I'm not in a faction.
Well, guess you're one lonely son of a bitch then, aren't you?
Sí.
Here, before you start begging for help, consider it a gift from the Duke. You gave me enough that I can share.
Quédate con tu caridad. No, gracias.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. Thank the Duke. If you end up in the desert in Tavar, you can thank him in person by joining the outlaws.
How do people live here?
Here, smoke one with me, before you start bombarding me with questions, yeah? I have the best stuff here.
What do you have to offer?
Troll dung, rat scab, it's all for...
Ah, vale, está, son
Snort it,
drogas.
smoke it, either way. You'll never forget the experience.
Forget it.
Well, that's your choice. From time to time, you need to open a door in your head and look inside, right?
No.
But if you won't, then all the more for me. That done, let's get into the real business.
What business?
Real business. A proper opportunity. You see, the clerics have had this city under their control for years. And the Duke thinks they're planning to take control everywhere, sooner or later. And he thinks the Dome City could be the starting point for their military campaign. So, my job is to find out if he's right. If there is something brewing that could be dangerous for us in Tavar.
What information have you gathered about the clerics?
Pretty much nothing so far. They've not been very loose-lipped around me. I must sorta stand out.
So, you want me to be your spy?
I want you to find out information. Now I can see in your eyes that you haven't fallen for the cleric's tricks. You aren't simple enough.
Claro, estas misiones, si yo fuera un clérigo al llegar aquí, esta misión no me la da, ¿verdad? Quiero decir, cuando te unes a una facción tiene pinta de que la mayoría de las secundarias se van a la mierda, porque solo te las dan porque eres un don nadie.
What do you expect from me?
Este tío, por ejemplo, te dice... No eres presa todavía del S de los clérigos, ¿no? Si llegas aquí y ya eres un clérigo, esta misión es imposible que te la dé o cambia la frase.
While Alois will tell you the clerics here are neutral, separate from the ones in the Horde. Go and grill Lutz. Find out if there'll be an offensive soon. Do that, then come back to me as soon as you have any useful information.
You know, helping the Duke out is probably a good idea. He gets kind of pissed when he finds out you didn't.
How many shards are you talking about?
Enough. The Duke is generous. I pay.
No, el Duque no es generoso. El Duque es un mierda, macho.
Where can I find Lutz?
If he's not on a call, then he's usually working maintenance on one of the generators. Just walk along the battlement path up at the top. You can't be far.
Why do you think that these technicians will know about the cleric's plans?
Because he's the guy that maintains all the communications equipment. He must have heard something from the comms. And he's more likely to talk than anyone further up the chain. I want to know what he's heard. I need to know what he knows.
Vivian sent me to talk to you about the technician's job.
Yeah, good. And I'd like to apply for the job. And I'm willing to pay any price to get it. While I'm certain there must be people better qualified than me, there isn't anybody who will pay you as much as I will.
How good are you with technology?
Absolutely crap. I don't know one end of a screwdriver from, well, a hammer, to be honest. But I'm a fast learner, and if I have someone I can ask, then the rest won't be a problem. And did I mention the whole financially rewarding aspect of selecting me as the candidate?
You? Hey, it's you.
Me reconoce.
Yes, Frank. It's me, Jax.
I heard they shot you down, that you were dead. Apparently that was wrong. But if you're here, does that mean you're a separatist now? Will you stay here and support our cause? I'm sure you would be very welcome.
Has traicionado todo lo que eras. No quiero tener ningún tipo de relación contigo.
What cause?
We've broken free from Zakor, from being slaves to Elex. And we've worked, persuaded people to allow us into the city. And now we're here, we are working to be allowed to stay. Would you be willing to help us?
Tío, pero es que esto no tiene ningún sentido que Jax le diga esto. Has traicionado todo lo que eras. Se refiere a lo salvo. No quiero tener ningún tipo de relación contigo. Quiero decir, lo más lógico es que Jax esté a favor de los separatistas, ¿no? Os daré mi apoyo. Es que no tiene ningún sentido esta frase. Quiero decir, al propio Jax lo han traicionado los salvos. Que se ponga a favor de los salvos es una gilipollez, pero vamos. Es que no tiene sentido dentro de la historia. Y eso que el sistema de karma más o menos va por esos derroteros, ¿no? En plan que te vuelven más salvo o menos.
I will give you my support.
Good. We have to stick together. People blame us for this war, even though we left Zakor to escape it. They will doubt us until the day peace begins. I mean, they don't even trust each other. Among all these warring people, all these different agendas, we, you and I, share a similar destiny. It's the only way anyone will survive.
It seems like you're tolerated here in the city.
That is exactly what we are. Tolerated. We are still a long way from being accepted.
Well, I, for one, don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
You aren't alone in that view. This city is a place of
¿Por qué Ray participa más en las conversaciones que todo el resto de personajes?
The clerics say they are neutral, but they aren't. The berserkers,
¿O es dependiendo del personaje con el que hable?
apart from avoiding their laws. We are trying to discover who we are. I think people see that we are all here for a new start.
Por ejemplo, en Risen 3, todos los personajes, cuando un compañero tenía que decir un diálogo, todos los personajes tenían su línea de diálogo, todos. En cambio aquí parece que da la sensación de que cuando lleva un personaje puede hablar mucho ese personaje y luego llevas otro y no habla nada. Y es como... ¿Qué? ¿Por qué hay preferencia en los personajes que más hablan o otros menos? Es que no tiene ningún sentido. En cambio en Risen 3 era todo equilibrado. Da igual el personaje que llevaba, el personaje soltaba su frase o daba su opinión. Voy a hacer un parón y ahora volvemos.